Tonight I'm going to be making the cupcake toppers, and I'm gonna try this as easy mode as possible so it's quick, but they look good. I'm hoping and I'm praying, because what I was gonna do was I was gonna cut these out and then cut each one out by hand and do all that. Ain't nobody got time for all that. So we're gonna improvise. So I'm gonna take my apple cookie. This is the plan, okay? My plans don't always go to plan, but this is my plan, my idea. So I'm going to take my apple cookie cutters, and this is of course going to be my apple shape, but I'm going to cut this part off using the X-Acto knife or my little doodad thing here that I have, and I'm going to cut that off. Now this little paisley type, leafy type shape is almost identical to the tail part. So that is going to be my tail, and I just dropped the paper. Hold on, let me grab it. Ugh, good thing it didn't go far. So for this little bite right here, I have this little cookie cutter. It's like a little eyeball cookie cutter in my little ghosty kit, but it kind of looks like the bite. I tried a number 3, but I don't actually have a number 3 cookie cutter that is, that would be big enough and look right. You know what I'm saying? So this will have to do. I do actually have the Disney alphabet cutter set. I hate working with these, by the way, just FYI. But it is the D for the Disney, which is gonna go on the cupcake. And then I'm going to use this little doodad for the dragon tail. I don't know if it would be too long or too small. I didn't choose the big one. I chose the more smaller one. So yeah, and then for the little pointy piece here at the bottom, I forgot to get my triangle plunger, like one of my little triangle plungers, and I'm just gonna kind of pull it and do it that way, and then I'm gonna assemble them all together. I'm only doing 12, so it shouldn't be too bad. And then of course I'm gonna paint them with the gold AmeriColor airbrush, and then I also have the metallic red. So most of these are all gold. So I'm gonna roll out my fondant, and I'm going to cut out 12 apples. And what I just did at the top, because on the apple in the logo there is no stem, so I cut that off. I have this little eye cutter, and I'm using that as the bite marks in the Decendants apple, and I'm just using some of the cutouts from the other apples so that way I just get an even one. Now these stupid cutters, I hate these so much. I love the Disney logo letter look, but I hate them because they are so hard to get out. They're so small and they're fragile, and I have to be super careful, and they break super easy, and they get like so out of shape so fast. I was really struggling with these. I really wish that these were a plunger. I feel like these kinds should be a plunger. Make them a little bit wider, make them a plunger. I was struggling with these. That's why I only decided to do 6 instead of 12, because they were on my nerves so bad. Like that one I think broke. Oh no, not that one, but I had so many break on me. So now I'm just going to cut out 12 of this like leaf shape, and this is going to be the tip of the tail towards the top of the apple. And I'm just cutting them out and putting them off to the side, and they're going to be colored gold. Now I'm taking this triangular plunger that I have, triangle plunger, and I am cutting out all of the triangles, and then I'm going to reshape them to kind of be like the bottom of the tail that is on the that's like wrapped around the apple. Once I have all my triangles cut out, I just kind of shape them and just kind of give them a little curve, and just kind of try to shape it to the way that they're pictured. I tried my very best, but they'll probably look better once it's all together, and then I can like mold and recreate them a little bit better. So now I am going to paint my apples. Now this probably would have been so much easier with red fondant, but I prefer to buy my fondant, my red fondant, just because you just get a better color. And I still would have painted at least one coat of the pearlescent red over top of the red fondant, but it's just going to take a couple of coats. You have to let it dry in between. I do love painting, and I think it probably would have, the whole process would have gone quicker if the fondant was already colored. But sometimes I just like to make a nice white blank slate into something beautiful. And now I'm doing all the pieces off to the right of the screen in the gold. I'm doing the base gold, and then doing the rest, doing the D's and doing the little triangles. Now I rolled out another piece of white fondant, and I used the same cutter that I used for the bite marks. And this is going to be the white part that shows in the logo of the apple, but I had to play with it for a little bit, and then at first I was going to have it coming under, sticking out, but then I decided to I put it under, but I didn't like how that looked. So instead what I did was I just kind of nestled it in there and squeezed it in, and then cut the edges out. And then I just kind of went back once I had all the pieces in where the little bite marks were. I just kind of went in and adjusted them and stuff. Once I had all the white pieces in, I decided to pick up the little D's and the little Disney D logo, and I put them on top of the apples. Some of them broke, as you can see here, and I'm piecing them back together. Super frustrating and annoying. Again, I love the Disney letters, but they're so hard to work with. In my opinion, that's just me. I have fat fingers, and it was just very annoying. So I picked the 6 best apples and put the D's on there, and got them all situated. Now I'm taking my clay extruder, and I have some white fondant in there, and I'm twisting it down, and I am turning really hard. My fondant started getting a little hard, and it wasn't as soft as it was. So I was making my rope so I can make the tail that wraps around, or whatever serpent thing that wraps around the apple. So I'm rolling that out through the clay extruder. And then I kind of cut it down the size and just kind of rolled it out because I wanted to taper it off. And then I flattened the one edge, and that part comes out from around that part of the apple. And as you see, I'm just kind of cutting it and curving it like how the picture showed. And now I'm putting a little triangle that goes on the bottom down there, and now I'm going to roll my next piece out for the top. And again, I'm just going to kind of do the same thing, taper it down. So, and then I'm just I'm looking at the picture, and just seeing where it curves and stuff. And then I just put a little dab of water just so that way it sticks and it doesn't fall off. Now I'm taking the little paisley type leaf shape and put that towards the top. And then I'm going to take my gold food coloring and just do the base coat of the tail. And I guess it's a tail, a serpent's tail. I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm just gonna go over it. And I was like just doing some touch-ups on the D and everything. Now I'm gonna let this completely dry overnight, and then tomorrow when I get home from work, I'm going to put the metallic gold over top of it. I'm gonna do a couple of, because as you can see right now, they don't really match the tail and the tips of them.